Week 17 of the fantasy football season, and with the championship games coming up for most fantasy owners, here's a few quarterbacks I looked at off the wire this week. The first quarterback, Bryce Young of the Carolina Panthers. So Bryce Young's definitely turned the season around here in the second half for this Panther team, and he's actually been a viable option over the last few weeks, and he's available in 93% of fantasy weeks. So week 17, a good matchup of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They give up the third most fantasy points to quarterbacks on the season. Week 14 of Philadelphia, 191 pass yards, a touchdown, interception, 29 rush yards. Week 15 versus Dallas, 219 pass yards, touchdown, 2 interception, 12 rush yards in that game, a touchdown, and 2 fumble losses. And then week 16, the big game versus Arizona, winning in overtime, 158 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, 68 rush yards, and a touchdown. So Bryce Young's playing good football, like I said, sitting on the sidelines. I think helped him for a little bit for this Carolina Panther team. And now with a good matchup, like I said, at the Bucs, if you stream quarterbacks and you're deep at 2 quarterback leagues, he's a streaming option and a pickup this week. The next quarterback, Drake May of the New England Patriots. So this Patriot team, they played a tough game in week 13, and they gave the Bills a run for their money in that one. And Drake May went out there, he was aggressive, running the football, taking his shots down the field, and we've definitely seen upside from May in his rookie year. Week 13 versus Indianapolis, 238 pass yards, a touchdown, interception, 59 rush yards, a 2-point conversion. Week 15 at Arizona, 202 pass yards, a touchdown, 14 rush yards, a touchdown in that one. And week 16 at Buffalo, like I said, he kept his team in the ball game and played well. I thought 261 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, 30 rush yards, a fumble loss, and an interception. So May's playing good football. I know the weapons are limited. The Mario Douglas, Hunter Henry, Keyshawn Boutte, the only players on that roster that have maybe some fantasy appeal. But he's going out there and he's working what he's got with, and he's had 20 or more fantasy points 3 weeks in a row. So he's definitely a quarterback to head off the wire this week, and he's available in 86% of fantasy leagues. Next quarterback, Mason Rudolph of the Tennessee Titans. So Mason Rudolph, in my opinion, he's been a better quarterback this season in the few games we've seen him than Will Levis. And I know it was a lot of garbage time in week 16, but he went out there in a good 15 where he came in that ball game after Levis went out and got benched. 209 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. In week 16, I know a lot of garbage time, like I said, 252 pass yards in Indianapolis, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a 2-point conversion. So this week, a good matchup coming up at the Jaguars. Give up the most fantasy points to quarterbacks on the season. Mason Rudolph, an okay quarterback throughout his career. He's the starter of the last 2 games of the season for this Tennessee Titan team, and at least he's going out there and making these ball games a little competitive, and he's available in 98% of fantasy leagues. And the final quarterback I have as a pickup, Kenny Pickett of the Philadelphia Eagles. So we saw, obviously, Jalen Hurts, he went out with a concussion. We don't know if he's going to play next week. And Pickett, a speculative ad, available in 99% of fantasy leagues. So Pickett last season, majority of the year, he was the starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he didn't play good football, obviously, but he did help them get to the playoffs. So week 16, coming in relief for Hurts, 143 pass yards, a touchdown, interception, and 13 rush yards. So Pickett, week 17, a good matchup versus the Cowboys. Can't stop anyone. They give up the 4th most fantasy points to quarterbacks on the season. And right now, Kenny Pickett with good weapons, and if he does get the start in this week 17 game, you got A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, obviously Saquon Barkley out of the backfield. I think that's enough for him to be a decent option in deeper leagues. That's a few quarterbacks I looked at off the wire for week 17 of the fantasy football season.